I personally think that when it comes to President Donald Trump, he cannot see past the decisions that he makes. I actually hope that one day he is able to see that the decisions that he has made or is going to make are going to have a negative impact on society. This is fucking insane. When I came across this article this morning, guys, I knew at that particular moment that I had to share this with you because I am concerned about this. I am concerned in regards to where this decision is going to go, right? I think that a lot of people should be concerned as well. Because basically, he is going to rip apart the Constitution and it's going to be in Christianity's favor. This is disgusting. This is something that should never happen, plain and simple. And I think that it's safe to say that the founding fathers are basically rolling around in their graves at this fucking point. So let's get started. Oh, yeah, there's one more thing that I wanted to mention real quick. For all you people out there who basically want to accuse me of being a Trump hater, there's going to be a link in the description to a speech that Donald Trump gave at the prayer breakfast. And he was talking about destroying the Johnson Amendment. Just thought that you should know that. Let me share some of this crazy ass information with you guys. During the National Prayer Breakfast this morning, Donald Trump reiterated his desire to repeal the Johnson Amendment, which would then allow pastors to promote political candidates from the pulpit. Right now, pastors who tell their congregation to vote for a particular candidate risk losing their tax exempt status, though that almost never happens in practice. But if Trump gets his way, pastors would get to play politics without paying any taxes. This is what Donald Trump says, guys, and I have to warn you that it will probably turn your stomach. I will get rid of and totally destroy the Johnson Amendment and allow our representatives of faith to speak freely and without fear of retribution. I will do that. Remember, the thing that really pisses me off, guys, is the fact that Donald Trump, like other Christians in this country, seem to have this idea that Christians are being persecuted. They're not being persecuted. They have every right to practice their religion in their churches or in their homes privately. What they do not have a right to do is endorse politicians. They don't have a right to implement their religious agenda in the government. Plain and simple. It states that in the Constitution. And it sickens me to no end to see people like this rip apart the Constitution like it was nothing, basically. This is what Christians want in this country. And I'm not saying all Christians, because there are some Christians out there that are actually fighting for the separation of church and state, and rightfully so. It should happen that way. And I honestly hope that what he's trying to do here isn't going to be successful, because if it is, this is going to open a whole new can of worms here. And by can of worms, I mean that Christians are going to take a look at this and they are going to basically have this idea that they want to push for new laws that allow them to discriminate against women's rights more than they already do. They are going to get this idea that they want to push for bills that allow them to discriminate against the LGBTQ community. They are going to push for bills that basically allow them to discriminate against anybody that thinks different. This is sickening. This is poison that is going to eat away at the very fabric of human nature. It is going to destroy society. More people are going to rise up and they are going to continue to fight this, and rightfully so. I personally think that this type of mindset does not need to be implemented in society. Problems are only going to increase here. And it sickens me to know that Donald Trump cannot see these consequences. It saddens me. 90% of an iceberg is beneath the surface. I'm afraid that what I just talked about here is barely scratching the surface. Now, it worries me because Christianity is this gigantic iceberg, and it's going to sink the secular Titanic. And by secular Titanic, I mean this secular nation and the secular foundation that it was built on.